What department you're in?
My name is Caitlin Stanley, and I'm with the Environmental Studies Department.
Okay. So Caitlin, what to you was the most satisfying part of the trip?
The most satisfying part was probably, trying to think about this, not only meeting the culture of St. Croix and seeing it from a different aspect this time, but seeing how much the environment really does have to do with the whole island itself. Also, the lionfish was a huge thing that I had not noticed before because it just started traveling from Florida around the time that I went to St. Croix. So that was the other big thing that changed a lot. The people didn't change. They've always been pretty friendly. They'll say hi to you on the street and everything like that, so.
What do you think the solution is? Because of your area of study, you were a lot more knowledgeable about the marine life than most of the rest of us were. So, are there any solutions that run through your mind as to how this problem could be stopped in its tracks, or at least mitigated?
Yeah, they're having a lot of problems throughout the Caribbean and the Florida Keys and stuff with it. The only real solution that anybody can think of is spearfishing, or commercially fishing them. There's nothing on the islands that will eat their eggs. A lot of the animals don't know that they can eat the lionfish because they're foreign animals. They're from the Indo-Pacific area, and these are Caribbean reef sharks and lemon sharks and stuff. So I have seen some things where it's showing that the animals have been starting to know that they can eat it, but it's still at the point right now where it's kind of like a foreign area for them too. The only other thing that I could really think of is doing more research on the specific algae disease that is in St. Croix right now, which is one of the reasons that they are not able to commercially harvest, because the disease lives inside the algae, and some of the fish that the lionfish eat consume the algae that it eats, and it can cause a toxicity in the meat, because lionfish is supposed to be very delicious, but unfortunately St. Croix isn't able to do that commercially harvestable production of it. So.
And how did you first get interested?
I've always liked the water. When I was a baby I hated it, but eventually I kind of warmed up to it. The big thing that happened to me was I went to Louisiana a month before Katrina hit, and I kind of went around in the swamps and stuff, and I figured out that I loved everything about aquatic ecosystems. So kind of turned into, as I got into high school and college, more of an educational and conservation side. So the one thing I've always been good at is like talking to people about the importance of ecosystems and certain animals being there, and how each little part of it kind of fixes it all as a whole. Yeah. How everything relates to each other is the one thing that I always like to talk to people about. So it's kind of continued through this, and now I can see how they're working with like the lionfish and everything like that, and the Park Service is working with the sea turtle conservation and the elkhorn and staghorn conservation, and how it's difficult. It's a really hard thing to go into because people don't really realize the importance of it when there's other stuff going on right now. So. Not writing so scientifically. I'm used to being like big words, sometimes explaining them, but hoping that the person that's reading it already knows what that is. So kind of being able to go in there and develop a sophisticated way to say it kind of helps out a lot. Makes my papers not sound so drab. And obviously the interviewing process is just watching it and kind of seeing how to go about it and what to ask. So it's a small question and the person talks for a while about something, and they kind of go in deeper into like their passions and stuff like that has been really eye-opening to me. I never thought that a single question could just span for about 5-minute response, so it's interesting.